And so ultimately when we separated and we split, a whole different person came out of my ex-wife, who's the mother of my child. We have a almost 3-year-old child now. When we split, he was 6 months old. So she left, but she called the police on me when I was coming home from work. And so when I came home from work, I pulled into the parking spot, and they telling me to freeze and stay there and all that. And it took a second when I pulled up to even realize that they were even talking to me, because I really didn't know that she would even go as far as calling the police on me and making that accusation. And so, when they had me against my car and they're asking me, do I have any weapons, what am I doing here and all this, I'm like, I'm just trying to go home and handle a situation. I don't understand why y'all are stopping me. And they were like, well, you stay right there. Do you have any guns on you? I was like, yeah, I got a gun in the floorboard on the passenger side, and they go over there and they pull the clip out. They look at the gun, they're running the serial number through dispatch to see if it's stolen. Of course it's not, because I paid for it and I bought it legally from a gun store. So the whole time I'm confused. The whole neighborhood's coming outside to see what's going on, because there's like cop cars everywhere. And because they take domestic violence seriously, and I had no idea what was going on. I kept asking them, like, so why are y'all stopping me? Like, I don't understand what I did. Like, I just literally just came home from work. And so then they finally, after like 30 to 40 minutes, I'm standing upside next to my car. They finally tell me, well, your wife called and told us that you threatened to kill her 4 months ago. And I was like, I don't understand when I supposedly threatened to kill her 4 months ago. He said, yeah, so we're taking this serious, Did you threaten her today? And I was like, no, I haven't threatened her today. So then supposedly they go over there and ask her, have you threatened him today? And she's like, no. But I didn't know if she was gonna lie and say I did, because I know if she had said she did, I would have went straight to jail. No questions asked, no evidence, nothing to prove anything of any threats being done. So I kept asking them, like, can I speak to her real quick? Like, no, we can't let you do that. I was like, well, at least can I see my son real quick? So first they weren't gonna let me do it, and I kept asking, like, can I see my son? So then they finally bring my son over there, and I play with him for like, and kiss him and all that for like a minute, and then they take him from me, and they're like, well, we're just gonna take her in a squad car, take her down to the precinct and let her mom come get her and all this other stuff. You just stay at the house. And I was like, okay. Like, I don't understand what the hell is going on, why she would say that. So after that happened, I let 2 days go by. I let it cool down between me and her, let her get her thoughts together or whatever. And I called her to check on my child and to talk to her. And I was like, when can I start seeing my son? And then she started being like, making it hard for me to be able to see my kid. Like, she was kind of like skeptical to doing so. So for 3 months, she kept my kid from me. Like, she would not let me take him home and have him overnight. She would make me drive 3 hours to see my kid for maybe 20 minutes, and I had to drive 3 hours to go back home. She did that for 3 months. So then I get a nice phone call one morning, and they're like, so this is Mr. Brim. I'm like, yeah, this is Mr. Brim. And they're like, so this is Dada from child support. So we got Heather Brim is taking a child support case out on you. So you almost be getting divorced. So in this 3 months, we were separated. She moved back home with her mom all the way in the other side of the state. I was trying to ask her, I was like, so what are we? Are we separating? Are we divorcing? Or what's going on? And she would never answer me. She was like, don't worry about me. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to your son, da, 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 da. And I'm like, I don't understand, because I can't move on my life until I know what's going on between us. And she never would be clear about what she wanted to do, because she left. So it wasn't up to me really at that point to really pick what's going on. So she was like, well, you need to go to anger management classes and try to win me back, or some bull crap that she was saying. And I was like, I don't really see that I have an anger problem. Cool, I'll go to an anger management class. So I took an anger management class, paid whatever money to sit in a class with other people in there. And all the people that were in the anger management class had actually violently assaulted somebody. And that's why they were court ordered to go there. I was there on my own free will. And even the anger management instructor was like, why are you here? So I was trying to like do good by my ex-wife. I was trying to save my marriage, and hopefully we can go to counseling or something and try to fix this, whatever this is. And, you know, after that, and then when we sat down, we met with them, my parents and her mom all sat down at her uncle's house and spoke and trying to figure out why she would not let me have my child. And even her mom went as far as to be like, so you're not going to have her this weekend because my birthday's this weekend. So no, but you can have him this other weekend. I'll drive him down personally 3 hours and drop him off and let you have him over the weekend. So I'm not an idiot. I knew she was lying. I was like, all right, whatever. So we'll see. So when it came time to that day, then I couldn't get a hold of nobody. I couldn't get a hold of her or her mom. And then I get a text like that night, and it was like, so he was sick and I had to take him to the hospital. Here's this phony piece of paper I took a picture of this hospital record that showed that he went to the hospital for upper respiratory infection. So he can't be around you. I was like, okay, I'm not understanding. I'm his father, so I'm supposed to be able to take care of him through sickness and health and all that other stuff. And so then I see pictures that she sends me of him, and he's sitting in his grandmother's lap. So I'm like, so your grandmother doesn't even live with you and your mom at this point. So she's able to interact with him while he's having this respiratory infection. But his father, blood running through his veins of mine, direct person who created him, I'm not allowed to have him. So I was like, you know what? Screw this, because you're being unreasonable and being immature, and you're not letting me be able to have time with my kid, and I don't understand. So fast forward, we went to child support court. They sent me a nice little letter that said, if you want to avoid court costs, come on in. You'll sit down in between you and your ex, and you'll avoid having to pay court costs. So I agreed to it because I didn't want to pay court costs. I was like, all right, well, maybe we can come to an agreement. Maybe she has a reasonable mindset now that this is going on now. So mind you, we're still married when she takes me to child support court. So we go there, and she gets there, and they call our case, and we go back there in the back, and in what they would call the judge's chambers, which is the office. And we go in there, and as soon as I open the door, they had a nice little name tag on the table, and it says District Attorney so-and-so, so-and-so. I knew at that moment that this wasn't going to go good for me, because anybody that knows anything about district attorneys in a family court case, they automatically think the dad's a deadbeat dad. And that's how she treated me while we were sitting there. And so this lady asked me stuff about my job and told me to bring pay stubs, and I did. And then she's like, are you doing overtime? I was like, we were for the first half of the year. Now we slowed down, so we're not doing any overtime. I mean, we were doing like a whole 14, 15, 20 hours more than we normally do of overtime every week at that point. But so the child support was set off, first of all, because it wasn't accurate, because it was based upon my overtime hours that I was doing, and then I wasn't doing it anymore. So she ran me for child support almost over $5,000 for one child a month. Then she's like, let's talk about back pay. I'm like, back pay? I've been giving her money, even though I haven't even been seeing my kid, but like 3 times out of that 3 months, I've been sending her money whenever she asked for it to help support my child. And they ran me for another $700 and something for back pay between the time that we split till the time we showed up in court that day. So then on top of that, at the end of it, the lady goes, well, here's court fees. And I was like, I thought I wasn't supposed to get any court fees. No, this is court fees, and you're going to pay them. I'm like, but she took me to child support court, so why am I having to pay court fees? Well, you're going to have to pay the court fees. I'm like, I don't know what this girl told you happened between me and her, but it's not true, because I don't understand why I'm having to pay court fees. So I was like, whatever. I think it was like over almost $200 worth of court fees. So at that time, I was like, you know what? At this rate, I'm not ever going to see my kid. So I called some attorneys, I spoke to some people, and then they were like, so you only have two options. You can steal the child from her, or you can divorce her or legally separate from her. And so I was like, so what's the difference between legally separating and divorcing somebody? And they're like, well, legal separation means you do everything that you do in a divorce, except for y'all still are technically together, still married. And divorce just makes y'all your own person, like y'all were before you got married. So I was like, well, I was divorced then, because I'm not going to sit up here and stay with somebody that's going to keep their child from their father, and I didn't do anything wrong. So, that being said, I make this video for men out there that are being hurt and used by their child's mom. Their mom is using the child as a crutch, using it as a pawn, as a money scheme. I personally, I just I don't think it's right. And for me, I'm gonna speak out for other fathers that may not be able to speak out for it. So I'm starting a movement with this whole situation, because I think this needs to be brought to the forefront, that this is unfair, that we have to fight so hard to be with our children as men. The men that do want to be with their children have to fight so hard. And we get ridiculed if we don't make a payment. If we miss a payment on child support, then they're trying to take your license from you. They're trying to put you in jail. They're trying to take your credit score and ruin it and all that. But then there's men out there who don't even take care of their children or in their child's life, who don't even get subpoenaed. They don't get put in jail. They don't get anything for for creating a child and not having anything to do with them. And I think that's really unfair. We should make it more aware that not necessarily take it easy on the dads that do take care of their children, but don't overcharge for child support. You shouldn't be paying $1,000 for one child. I'm sorry, but there's not a child in this world that needs $1,000 a month to live. Especially when we're obligated as men after a divorce in a situation, and I know my situation wasn't as bad, but there are some men out there who got married to somebody, had a child with them, got a house, got a car, and all this mess, and then after the divorce, they get the house taken from them and they can't even live in the house, but they have to sit up here and pay for the house like they live there. And then they're expected to go find their own place somewhere and live there and have that place so they can be able to have time with their child. And that's a lot of money. I mean, that's hard on anybody. It's hard to pay for one place. I can't imagine paying for two places. So if you are a man out there that is going through something and you need an outlet, you need someone to talk to or to relate to as far as going through this, because I know there's a lot of men out there that are going through the exact same thing I'm going through, and it's hard. It makes you have trust issues. It makes you rethink a lot of things that you thought was one way. But if you see this video and it helps you out a little bit, leave me a comment, send me a private message. Maybe I can speak to you, talk to you in private. If you want me to do a video for you, I can make it very anonymous, not say your name, tell your story out so people can see it and hear it, and maybe it can help change some things for us men in this country to have a better family court system that's not so biased and pampers and powder puffs women who claim to be victims and claim that, I can't do no better for myself stuff, because it's just not right. I mean, I feel like if I have to take care of the child, you also should be obligated to take care of the child. You shouldn't be able to mooch off of my child support and mooch off of the Tennessee welfare on top of it, and then be able to go get a boyfriend and then mooch off of him on top of that, and I can't even live or pay my bills because I'm paying way too much for one child. So just let me know, leave some comments, leave some messages, and I shall be back with another video.